It had been a quiet night, just like any other. Captain Elena Hayes stared out the observation window of the Deep Space Research Station, her thoughts wandering as she sipped her coffee. The stars glimmered in the distance, seemingly untouched by the chaos of Earth. A sudden beep from the comm system broke her trance. She glanced at the screen. "Captain, you need to see this," the voice of Lieutenant Mitchell crackled through the speaker. Elena quickly made her way to the control room. Mitchell was already at his station, eyes glued to his screen. "Look at this," he said, pointing to the blinking signal on the radar. A mysterious signal had been picked up from a far-off part of space. It was unlike anything they'd ever encountered. A pattern. A frequency. It wasn't random noise, it was structured, almost deliberate. They had been tracking signals from distant stars for years, but this was something else. The team quickly ran tests. The signal wasn't from any known satellite or natural phenomenon. It was coming from a part of the universe they hadn't explored yet. "We need to tell the others," Elena said, her voice trembling slightly. This wasn't just another anomaly. It was something far bigger. Back on Earth, the world's scientific community was alerted. Within hours, the news spread like wildfire. The implications were endless. Governments, scientists, and military leaders gathered, formulating plans to respond. It was clear, Earth was not alone. The question now was, who or what was out there? Over the next few weeks, the world watched as a team of experts, including Elena and Mitchell, worked tirelessly to decode the message. The signal didn't contain much, just a series of patterns that appeared to form a rudimentary language. But every breakthrough only led to more questions. What were they trying to communicate? And more urgently, why had they chosen now to make contact? Then, one evening, the signal changed. It began to repeat itself, becoming more intense. Elena knew they had no choice but to act. There was no way back now. "We're going to respond," she said. "It's time." As the team prepared to send a message back into space, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that something was off. The truth, once it arrived, might not be what they expected. But there was no turning back. They had crossed a line. Now, they were about to open a door that would lead to a new reality. The signal had intensified over the next few days. It wasn't just a call, it was an invitation. The world watched as the response was finally sent. Elena and her team waited in anticipation, unsure of what they would find. The tension was palpable. It came suddenly. The night sky, visible from the research station's windows, seemed to flicker, as though the stars themselves were sending a message. The signal was no longer a distant hum, it was right there, practically tangible. And then, there it was. A ship, hovering in the sky. Larger than anything humans had ever built, with glowing lights tracing patterns along its surface. The atmosphere on Earth shifted. People were afraid, curious, anxious. Governments scrambled to put protocols in place. Elena and her team stood at the forefront of this moment. The ship's presence was undeniable, it was here, and it was real. But now, the biggest question was, what did they want? 4 days, the ship lingered in the atmosphere. It didn't land, didn't communicate, just hovered silently. Experts debated, scientists speculated, and world leaders gave speeches. But in the midst of all the chaos, Elena felt an eerie stillness. It wasn't just the ship that was waiting. It felt like the entire world was holding its breath. Finally, the ship made a move. It descended slowly toward the ground, landing softly in an isolated field. No military presence had been prepared to stop it. Instead, all eyes were on the spaceship, waiting for the first sign of life. But as the doors of the ship opened, what emerged was something unexpected, a single being. It didn't look like anything they had imagined. The alien stood over 7 feet tall, its form humanoid but with elongated limbs and a smooth, silvery skin. Its eyes were deep pools of dark energy, seeming to absorb everything around them. Its presence was both awe-inspiring and terrifying. A hush fell over the crowd as it approached, the alien's movements slow and deliberate. It spoke in a language that no one understood. But its gestures were clear, peaceful, calm. It didn't show aggression, didn't demand anything. It simply wanted to make contact. As Elena approached the alien, she could feel her heart pounding in her chest. She wasn't sure what to say or how to act. But in that moment, she knew that everything had changed. The alien reached out, extending a hand toward her. Elena hesitated for a moment, her mind racing with questions, fears, and possibilities. Then, slowly, she reached out and touched its hand. In that instant, something extraordinary happened. She felt a surge of energy, a flood of emotions and images from the alien's mind. It wasn't just a physical connection, it was a mental and emotional bond, a shared experience that left her breathless. The alien's message wasn't just about contact, it was about understanding. It wasn't interested in conquering Earth, it was offering something far more profound. The alien wanted to teach humanity, to share knowledge that could change everything. But with that knowledge came the responsibility to make the right choices. The world watched as the moment of truth unfolded. It wasn't just a first contact, it was the beginning of a new era. But as Elena stood before the alien, she realized that the true test had just begun. Humanity would need to decide what it would do with the knowledge it was about to receive. The alien's message was clear. It wasn't about technology or power, it was about evolution. The alien race had once been like humanity, divided, destructive, lost. But over time, they had found a way to transcend their primal instincts and live in harmony, not only with each other but with the universe around them. They had learned how to tap into a deeper, more cosmic understanding of existence. The knowledge they offered wasn't simple. It was a deep, complex web of understanding about the universe, consciousness, and the fundamental nature of reality. But with it came a warning: the alien race had paid a heavy price for their enlightenment. They had lost parts of themselves, things they couldn't recover. The knowledge, while transformative, could also be overwhelming, dangerous if misused. The more Elena learned, the more she realized the gravity of the situation. Humanity wasn't ready for the full extent of this knowledge. There were leaders, corporations, and individuals who would exploit it for power, greed, and control. If humanity wasn't careful, they could fall into the same traps the aliens had once fallen into. Elena faced a moral dilemma. She could share everything with the world, ushering in a new era of enlightenment, or she could keep some of the knowledge hidden, preserving the safety of humanity for a little longer. The alien had given her the power to decide. The moment of truth had arrived. But as she stood before the alien, she knew one thing: the world would never be the same. The first contact had opened the door to something far greater than anyone had anticipated. The question now was whether humanity would rise to the challenge or fall victim to its own weaknesses. The alien left them with one final message before departing. You have the potential to become what we have become. But only if you choose wisely. The path you take will define your future. And then, as quickly as it had appeared, the alien ship vanished, leaving Earth to contemplate its place in the vastness of the universe.